The Chaser Report is recorded on Gadigal land.
Striving for mediocrity in a world of excellence. This is the Chaser Report.
Hello and welcome to the Chaser Report with Dom and Charles.
Charles, I have terrible news.
Oh no.
Another Aussie icon's secret passwords and user data has been leaked on the dark web, Charles, a company that is essential to all of our everyday lives, a beloved icon.
Oh my goodness. So what is it? It's a Google or Apple or something like that.
It's Dymocks Bookshops. Their entire user database has been leaked onto the dark web, or at least a large part of it has. They've warned their customers. Yes, Dymocks still has customers, apparently. And they have been sent an email asking them to be vigilant, change their password, and monitor their bank account.
Oh my goodness, because imagine all the sensitive data that database would have.
I mean, this is the first time Dymocks has been in the news in a very long time.
That's right.
This is amazing publicity. Who knew they were still there? My local Dymocks has closed years ago.
Well, actually, it's strange. I actually was browsing at Dymocks the other day. They're not really a bookstore anymore. Like, their book section is this sort of thing out the front where they sell
Peter Fitzsimons.
the latest Treehouse books, basically.
Yeah.
169-story Treehouse. That's why I went in.
Oh, right, of course. Yeah.
So they tempt you in with books.
Yeah.
But actually, most of it's just cheap junk from China. Like, there's a whole wall that's called gifts, right?
Yes, of course.
And they're just really weird things. Like, there was a piece of wood that you could put in a bottle of wine. Yeah. And it allows you to carry 2 wine glasses with the bottle of wine in one hand.
I mean, that does sound better than books. I can understand that direction. More in a moment.
But it's a bit humiliating as Dymocks to end up... Like, I'm sure Mr. Dymocks or Mrs. Dymocks or whoever found the
Dymocks Empire.
Yeah. Didn't think we'll make our fortune out of books and then we'll end up selling cheap junk from China.
Although that said, if you were a bookseller in 2023, you would be wanting products to help you drink more effectively and drown your sorrows, I imagine. Now, look, there are big Dymocks. There's a big Dymocks in the Sydney CBD. It still does a lot of business. There was a period where humour books were prominently displayed, and I did quite well out of that Dymocks, and that's ended now. But now I think it's basically just lifestyle stuff.
So what is going to turn up on the dark web? It's going to be... Well, this is the thing.
We're not actually hanging shit on Dymocks. We kind of need Dymocks to sell our stuff. So sorry, Dymocks. But again, there's no such thing as bad publicity.
No. Because the thing is, I'm a Dymocks member.
I am too. I've got a book lover account.
Surely the only thing, like as far as I know, the only thing that you can do with that Dymocks number is buy books with it.
Yes, that'd be lovely, actually, if people on the dark web bought us books.
Actually, you know what I should do? Well, my son has recently downloaded a Tor browser and has started browsing the dark web. Right.
This is trouble because
for research purposes.
This is the stuff he's telling you.
I know, exactly.
Man, God, imagine what else. Just let me tell you what they've got. So, customers' postal addresses, old-fashioned, birth dates, email, mobile numbers, gender, and membership details. Gosh, J.K. Rowling won't like the gender.
So presumably, my son could go onto the dark web, buy all this data, and start sending greetings cards to people who've been hacked using their home address.
Yes, he could also help them with their marketing. It'd actually really help them out. Yeah.
Because I'm not sure. Like, so did you say date of birth? Is there date of birth there?
Date of birth.
Yeah.
Yes, birth date.
Yeah, but is it one of those databases where they don't bother with anything over 2000 because nobody over 2000?
There's no way Dymocks was across the Y2K. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So the birth date's probably cut out about 1975.
Can I just mention here, by the way, just to clarify, Dymocks is a retailer. That's an old way of buying things from a physical location.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Yes. We should have explained that
People
earlier.
used to have to go and get go to a physical location to buy things. And they sell a thing called books, which is if you printed out an ebook and put it with a nice cover and so on and had a physical object, that's what a book is.
Yeah. It's probably the best way to explain it is if you wrote down a whole lot of TikToks
and
printed them out on a piece of paper, then then that would be a book. I think,
that's kind of how it would be. Now, Charles, the plot's thickened. It's a truth universally acknowledged that every dark web leak in recent Australian history I'm part of.
Oh, yes.
I have an email here from Dymocks.
Yes.
And it says...
Oh, right.
It's
wow.
dated the 8th of September. And it says...
that was only a couple of days ago.
It says, on the 6th of September, we became aware that an unauthorised party may have accessed some of our records. As soon as we became aware, we launched an investigation and we found that customer records on the dark web. 48 hours later, they send you an email telling you to protect yourself.
Right.
So it's got all the information, your date of birth, postal address, email, mobile, gender. And gold expiry date could be on there.
And by then, the hackers will have gone around and used points to buy the latest 169-story treehouse. They might have even bought books by you, Dom.
This is probably the best thing that's happened to the book industry in a very long time.
That's right.
So they say no financial data. But I mean, this is old. Yeah. My information's been on the dark web for years.
No, it must be like they'd have bank card data, wouldn't they?
Bank card data, yeah. Diners Club. The Diners Club.
That's right.
And it actually, from when it was a club you could go to physically. That was the thing. Dymocks is certainly not had this much publicity in a very long time.
But the other reason we were talking about the dark web, it was the Medibank data leak. They confirmed the other day that, because I think they were demanding some extraordinary amount of money, the hackers.
Yeah.
And Medibank refused to give it away. And that was very sensitive data, right? Like,
let me look at the email I got from Medibank.
Yeah. Well, my email from Medibank was hilarious. They even wrote me a letter saying that I'd been affected. And but they kept on calling me Mr. Frith.
Well, that's very good. That's very good. Unfortunately. And I hadn't been a Medibank member for at least, I don't know, at least a decade.
Yeah, no.
And so there's a lot of information. But they say that they don't believe the criminal stole embarrassing information about health claims.
No, but they did. They did. They totally did, because it's all now on the dark web.
Yes, they were wrong.
So, yeah.
That's the thing about the dark web and hackers. Yeah, it's always hard to work out what they actually did.
No, because that all, like about a week ago, that got announced that all that data is now completely able to be bought on the dark web. Dom, who should we buy the data of?
From Medibank Private.
I mean, I know we mention him a lot, but I wouldn't mind seeing Ben Roberts-Smith's Medibank data.
Yeah, injuries sustained while pushing someone off a cliff. If that were in the Medibank data, that would be a bit of a smoking gun, wouldn't it? Yeah. Not as smoking as his gun was, allegedly, but that would be a good thing. So definitely check out the Ben Roberts-Smith.
And what sort of books does he read?
Like, he'd be buying...
It'd be Who Done It? Me.
and big heavy books to use at interrogations.
I'll tell you what, in the Dymocks that I went into, which was the one in the city, their crime section is basically like half the bookstore now is crime.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Ironically, they should be well prepared. You think they would have got their heads up? There must be some book there about some shitty bookseller who got hacked.
I like the idea of using stolen data from the dark web as a form of public accountability, because you could extend it to politicians as well. Like, you could download the data of the Privacy Commission and
be good.
See whether they've read any books about how to protect data.
Well, one of the things that gets me, Charles, is that every Christmas, pretty much the reigning Australian Prime Minister, whoever it might be, gives, I think it's Troy Bramson from The Australian, a list of their favourite books of the year.
Right.
I reckon there's very little chance they got time to read a single one of them, and they get some intern to do it.
Yes.
So we could get that data and see, has Albo read the books? Did Malcolm Turnbull read all the books that he said?
Yes, that's right.
Although Malcolm Turnbull would have bought them on his Kindle, wouldn't he? Probably.
Yeah.
But I reckon that'd be fantastic to check that out.
The Chaser Report. Now with extra whispers.
Well, Charles, maybe we're thinking about this the wrong way.
I am.
It's because we're trying to think of, who would have, ironically, amusing metadata. Isn't the question, who can we blackmail? I mean, come on, we've got to think like a dark web hacker.
Much better. Yes, that's much better, yes. Who would have an embarrassing medical condition that they want to keep secret? No one in this room that I can think of. I mean, because even, when you get to our age, you're not embarrassed by any medical procedures anymore. Anyway,
everything's going wrong. Yeah. Of course. I mean, just the death is slowly closing in. It's coming.
Oh, God,
slowly, but surely. Yeah, that's right.
We've reached that tipping point where I tend to go to more funerals than weddings nowadays. And I think that only accelerates.
But don't worry. No, because there's the second wave and third waves of weddings to come.
Oh, where we get our friends to break up, plant the seed.
When things have have gone horribly wrong in people's lives and they go and marry other people.
Yes, that's
They're not
great.
quite up to that sort of 50s stage yet, 50s, 60s.
We should start planting some seeds.
You think?
Who do we want to... Well, it's got to be somebody with money. So it's got to be like an Andrew Forrest.
Yes, Twiggy.
But I like the Andrew Forrest thing. What we'll do, I'll get my son to browse the web and buy the data. Well, why don't we just go for all billionaires? Because we'll be able to trawl through.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, and we'll report back. Although, actually, we won't, because blackmail is based on the threat of releasing information.
Yeah, that's right. We can't report back.
We can tell it to this audience.
That's right. So we'll just tell everyone that we're definitely going to do that.
Yeah.
And that we'll send threatening letters. Is that the plan?
Yeah,
Am I a co-conspirator? Am I getting some of the upside of this? Because I'm fine with being a co-conspirator.
Yeah. No, but then, this is the brilliant thing about having dirt on everyone, is we'll then just download the information of all the police who try to arrest us, and the prosecutors, and the judges.
Oh, that's very good.
And we'll run a whole scheme where everyone's too afraid to touch us.
Now, Charles, there's an obvious thing that's going to happen. I want to just draw a line in the sand, right? Before the end of the year, Qantas's details will be leaked on the dark web. You can absolutely... It's the one thing that hasn't gone wrong so far at Qantas.
Oh, yes.
And the best thing would be if only the members of the Chairman's
Lounge. Yes, because it's secret. They won't
no
tell
one
you.
knows who's a member of the Chairman's. The only people you know are the people who've made the parliamentary declarations.
Who declare it, yes.
But everyone else, no, they won't tell you. And I saw an infuriating interview where they kept asking Qantas, and Qantas very smugly went, we don't comment on the Chairman's Lounge, which of course is their marketing thing for the Chairman's Lounge. So I reckon before the end of the year, you can mark my words on the dark web.
Yes.
And I'm not going to confirm or deny whether I'm in the Chairman's Lounge. At my level of celebrity, people can draw their own... Why are you laughing? People can draw their own conclusions about whether I would be a valuable asset in the Chairman's Lounge.
I've never seen you there, Dom.
That's because there's an even more secret lounge that I can't even mention the name of. I can't even divulge the name of the special lounge. You just have to say Alan sent me.
Yeah, okay.
Well, that was the way it used to work anyway.
Alan's
Lounge.
Alan's little room.
Yeah, which of course doesn't work. You knock on the door. You knock on the door and they go, sorry, it'll open in 6 hours. Anyway, so that's it. Qantas is going to have one of these dark... Because every company is going to have the dark web. I must amazed the Chaser's customer data isn't on the dark web.
Well, I mean, every day we've got Cloudflare and all these protections. And every day you see hacking attacks attempting to happen. It's extraordinary.
I mean, it does go to show how prevalent it is.
Yes.
If people are bothering to hack the Chaser. I mean, that's got to be way... In terms of lucrative prizes.
I want the data of the 11,000 most pissed off customers in Australia.
What I want to know, the data that I want to publish is who bought the avocado. Particularly.
That's blackmail.
Who bought the avocado at full price?
Yes.
My question.
Oh, yes.
If you're willing to acknowledge it, email podcast@chaser.com.au or we'll just get your details off the dark web.
Our gear is from Rode. We are part of the Iconoclast network.
And also the dark web.
Catch you tomorrow.